asked ChatGPT to defend the Trump administration deporting or exiling American citizens as if it's already happened, and used typical MAGA talking points and rhetoric. And this is what it gave me. Understand that this is not meant to be satire. You can laugh at it if it makes you feel better, but just understand that I'm not doing this to be funny. When I read this for the first time, I got a pit in my stomach. Look, the fact is, we are in a crisis. Our country has been overrun by crime, corruption, and people who hate America. President Trump is the only one willing to do what needs to be done to protect the American people and restore law and order. If that means removing certain individuals, even so-called citizens who have no loyalty to this country, then so be it. This is about keeping America safe. Let's be real. A lot of these people being rounded up, they're criminals. They're violent felons, gang members, terrorists, and radical leftists who have spent years trying to destroy this country from within. The Democrats and the fake news media want you to believe that these are innocent people being targeted, but the truth is, if you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about. The only people crying about this are the ones who are guilty or the ones who support them. And let's be honest, not everyone who was born in America is actually American. If you hate this country, if you riot in the streets, if you burn the flag, if you side with foreign enemies over your own nation, why should you be allowed to stay? America is a privilege, not a right. We don't need traitors, communists, or terrorists polluting our country. President Trump is simply cleaning house. The radical left has spent years trying to destroy Trump, our police, our military, our economy, you name it. So excuse me if I don't shed a tear over a few so-called citizens getting deported. Maybe if they loved this country, they wouldn't be in this situation in the first place. And let's be honest, we'd all rather have a strong leader making tough decisions than live in the chaos the Democrats created. If we have to be a little tougher, a little stricter, then that's what it takes to save this country. President Trump is bringing back strength, discipline, and American greatness. And anyone who has a problem with that, well, they can leave. This argument follows the predictable MAGA playbook when justifying authoritarianism. Number one, frame it as necessary for law and order, claiming there is a crime crisis and only extreme measures can fix it. Number two, demonize the victims, insisting that most of those affected are criminals, traitors, or un-American. Number three, fear-mongering, making people believe they're in immediate danger and need a strong man to protect them. Number four, redefine citizenship, arguing that just being born in America doesn't make you a real American if you don't align with MAGA ideology. Number five, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Classic authoritarianism excuses to dismiss concerns about civil liberties. Number six, blame the left, making it seem like any suffering is the fault of Democrats, not the people enacting the policies. Seven, prioritize strength over freedom, arguing that harsh authoritarian measures are preferable to liberal governments. This is exactly how hardcore MAGA supporters will rationalize the mass incarceration and deportation or exile of American citizens as long as it was done under President Trump. When we sit around and talk about where's the line for Republicans, I want y'all to understand that there is no line. If the FBI comes knocking on my door and wants to arrest me because I've been posting about Donald Trump on social media, what's my family going to say? I know what my MAGA family members would say. They would say, well, you should have known better.
You ever order something online, like, say, a sleek, high-tech, life-changing gadget, and when it finally shows up, it's just a glorified flashlight with a sticker that says made for winners? Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening with a whole lot of MAGA voters right now. See, they were promised the deluxe, gold-plated, turbocharged version of America, Trump edition. The kind where they would finally be first in line, sipping freedom lattes while the rest of us watched in envy. Jobs, booming. Borders, sealed. Gas prices, basically free in the country. So great, you'll get tired of winning. But here we are, not even 4 months into Trump's second administration, and let's be honest, it feels like we've been stuck in a glitchy simulation coded by a hungover reality TV producer. And guess what? The man is already talking about Trump 3.0, a third term, like it's a movie sequel nobody asked for, but somehow got greenlit anyway.
Trump gonna make America great again. Yup. Trump gonna get rid of all the migrants so I can get me a job. Trump really cares about me because I'm uneducated.
If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected better from you. I really did. I expected that you would do what was right and cut waste and fraud and all of those things that you promised us before we elected you in office, but you're not doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America is going to look like if this continues.
People of South Korea just demonstrated what a joke the American people are. The president of South Korea declared martial law, military rule over the civilian population, absolute control. And what was the reaction? The South Korean people were having none of it. They took to the streets. The parliament of South Korea unanimously overturned his declaration of martial law. And now they've begun impeachment proceedings against the president. They're going to throw his ass out. Now, compare this with the American people and what they've done. We had a candidate who was running as an authoritarian, openly. He promised to be a dictator on day one. And what did the American people do? Did they reject that candidate? Oh no. They made him president. Now what would happen, do you think, if...
Now, let's just pause right there. Because for anyone who remembers, back in the day, way back in 2016, Trump ran as the outsider, the renegade businessman who would drain the swamp, fire the deep state, and personally rebuild the country with his bare, very large, very powerful hands. That was the pitch, and a whole bunch of folks bought in. Hook, line, red hat. But here's the kicker. They're starting to realize they didn't order a leader. They ordered a salesman with a supersized ego and a loyalty to chaos. And listen, Trump is a phenomenal salesman. He could probably sell a bald eagle a hairbrush. The man doesn't pitch policies. He pitches fantasies. He knows how to tap into people's fears, frustrations, and Facebook feeds. He gave people something to believe in, a version of America that felt familiar, nostalgic, and just angry enough to feel powerful. But now, that fantasy is crashing headfirst into reality. The economy's stumbling, international allies are side-eyeing us harder than ever, and domestic unrest is boiling over like a pot of instant regret. And yet he's out here floating the idea of sticking around for a third term like he's George Washington in reverse. At this point, even some of his most loyal supporters are looking around and going, wait, this isn't the deal we signed up for. Because now it's not about promises anymore. It's about power. It's about control. And it's about one man's inability to let go of the spotlight. The Constitution? That's just a suggestion. Term limits? Optional. Democracy? TBD. And the irony? The very people who were promised they'd be first in line are starting to realize they're the ones who've been played the hardest. You know, it's like they thought they were VIP guests at the Trump Hotel. Turns out they're room service. But here's where it gets real. Because this isn't just about Trump. This is about us. All of us. What kind of country do we want to live in? What kind of leaders do we want shaping our future and rewriting the rules while they're at it? Because if Trump 2.0 has already flipped the table, what will Trump 3.0 look like? Will we even recognize the country by then? Or is this just the beginning of a long, slow unraveling, one wrapped in red caps and executive orders? Something to think about. And hey, if you made it this far, you probably have thoughts, so go ahead, drop them in the comments. I'm curious, how do you think this all ends? And while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Trend Feed. We've got more stories coming that'll make you think, laugh, and maybe, just maybe, scream into a pillow. Stay tuned.
My name's Cletus, and I'm trying to find a wife.
Oh God, I can't wait to see what this idiot has to say.
My name's Cletus, and I'm trying to find a wife. I'm looking for a woman, a young woman, somewhere between the ages of 18 and 24. Now you boys and girls know that that's all them Trump alpha men we after. We after them 18 to 24-year-olds. Yeah. I live in a rural town in southwestern Kentucky. Now I'm a little overweight, so you're gonna have to cook and clean for me, 'cause I can't do it myself. You will submit to me. I will be your only man. Oh, you must love Jesus, We're going to have 19 kids, and they're all going to be homeschooled. We're going to go to church all the time. Bye.
MAGA men, until you change your behavior towards women, you are going to be lonely the rest of your lives.